paint the background, but I'm gonna save that for last. I know that seems bass-ackwards, but we're going to paint our gnome first. And I have some water and some brushes. We're gonna paint our gnome first, and then I'm gonna fill in the background with a little bit of color. So I'm gonna start light to dark. So I'm gonna start with his cute little nose and his hands holding the cross. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this Light Flesh by Folk Art. It's just a peachy flesh tone. Ooh, that's a lot. I'm gonna put a little bit of that on my palette, not much because it's just a little nose. And I forgot my paper towels. So I'm just going to base coat in his nose and hands. We'll probably have to touch that up again later as we go, but we're gonna go ahead and get that painted in so we know where it goes. And then we'll work on his beard a little. So I am loving these gnomes. This one is going to be holding a cross that we're going to decorate with some silver pearly colored glass beads. And Richard, were you joining the art party? I'm cricking my neck so I can try to see what y'all are talking about, because I feel like I'm at a party and nobody's talking to me. Nobody likes that. So I'm just gonna fill in. I'll probably have to come back, like I said, and fix this, because I'm sure I'll make a mess of it, but I wanna go ahead and fill his little hands in with this peachy tone, skin color. And then we're gonna work on his beard a little, because that's the next darkest color. We'll do his ears too. So this is gonna be our little bunny gnome. He's got some little bunny ears. Super fun. Kristen, will you bring me a paper towel? Okay, so for his, I'm gonna go ahead and fill in his ears and add some pink to it. So I'm just gonna do that with this acrylic white. So yeah, I can't, keep in mind guys, I can't see any of your comments. So I'm just gonna talk to myself and you know, we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna paint his ears white. Remember, I'm gonna come back and do the background in another color. So his ears will be nice, will pop out and be nice and pretty when it's done, but probably not until I get to that part. White bunny ears. I guess Kristen logged off. She's not gonna bring me a paper towel. Or I hear her coming up the stairs. It's so nice having somebody at your beck and call. Hi. All right, so I am just, thank you, dear. I am just, everybody's tell Kristen, thank you. I am just base coating his ears out. It feels crazy that I can't see your comments, but I guess I've talked to myself before. I should have used a bigger brush for this. It would have gone a little faster, but that's okay. That's all right. I guess most of us have nothing but time right now. I'm going stir crazy myself. Is anybody else going stir crazy? It's like I never want to go anywhere. I'm very much a homebody, and I never want to go anywhere. And now suddenly that it's like you need to stay home and not go anywhere, I want to go places. It's that FOMO thing, right? It's like, no, you can't tell me what to do. I'm going. Now, while this is wet, I'm going to throw a little pink in the center. We are going to highlight that with some pink glass beads. I lost them. I don't know where I put them. Oh, here they are. We're going to highlight that with these. But I'm going to go ahead and add a little pink on top of that just for giggles. Just to have a little pink there. I'm just going to use that same brush. We'll just add a little bit of pink right in the center. and his little ears. Yep. He's going to be a cutie. And we'll do the same over here. His ears kind of folded down there a little bit, so I'm just going to go to here. We don't want to mess up that fold. So we'll just put his little pink ear right there. So, it's driving me crazy. I can't talk to y'all. Okay, so next, let me rinse that pink off, and we're going to do a little bit of gray on our palette. This is Cable Knit Gray by Delta. And I'm going to do his beard. I'm going to do it mostly white. I'm going to get a little bit of a bigger brush to use too, I think. Let me see. I'll use both of these. I'm going to use white and then just add in a little bit of the gray as needed, just so it's not a solid white. So I'm going to just add my white and then we'll come in. See, I messed his nose up already. I knew I would because I'm messy. Especially if I'm trying to work fast. I'm going to get a touch of gray just on the corner. I don't know if you can see my plate, but just on the corner, just a touch of gray. And just kind of fill that in around the edges. Go around his nose a little. Go back to the whites. He's a fun little Christmas or a little Easter gnome. Get it over here. I need to turn that a little bit. I can't work sideways. Just not in my wheelhouse. I'll add a little gray here. Just a touch of gray so that you can tell it's his beard. I just didn't want it to be solid white, but I didn't want it to be as gray as what we've been doing. Just a little something different. We're gonna do his hat, a really fun teal color, kind of a tealy, oceany color. It's gonna be super fun. You guys hanging with me? I can't see, so I hope you're all still here. I can't see you. Guess I could be painting by myself and I wouldn't even know. Right, a little more gray. I'm going to turn this so I can work that way. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. We may come back and touch that up a little more if we need to, but for now, we're going to next do his cute little hat. Now, actually, I'm gonna, while I have my gray out, since I'm doing silver, this is the color I'm using for the cross. It's kind of a silvery pearl. It's actually called Crystal. So it is Bead Treasures from Hobby Lobby, glass seed beads. The color is Crystal, but it's kind of a pearly champagne. So I'm gonna add a little bit, actually I need to do with a smaller brush, of white to my gray and make me a pale gray just to fill this in a little. so the white doesn't reflect through. Be more of a gray. Just mixing our own colors. You could totally do like a metallic silver. My hand's shaky today. Had arthritis acting up, probably because of the rain. It was sunny the last part of the day. I don't know what y'all's weather is like. But it was pouring down rain this morning. And now it's sunshining. I just saw somebody yell Richard's name, so I'm assuming Richard is being bad. Trying to make sure I keep this where you can see it. Don't forget that if you have a friend out and about that you think might enjoy watching our videos, feel free to let them know about us. We are just gonna paint and bring a little bit of joy to the world, one piece of art at a time. That's my goal. Just bring a little joy for a few minutes. All right, I'm gonna flip this upside down and get that bottom. It's just easier for me. I don't know how many of you out there that paint move your canvas around as much as I do. But even when I'm on the easel, I'm flipping that canvas. Sideways, upside down, right side up. Okay, just enough so we know where our bunny is. I wish I could see. Okay, now guys, look at this fantastic color. This is called Sea Breeze by Americana. Look at this color. Let me put some on our plate. So exciting. Look at this color. Is that not Easter deliciousness right there? Thank you for sprinkling. I can see the very bottom line. So we're gonna use this, and then for his little brim, we're gonna just lighten it up a little bit. So let me grab my brush, rinse it off. And I am gonna use this beautiful Eastery pastel teal on his cute little hat. Oh my goodness, we may have to add some polka dots to it or something. I don't know. We'll play it by ear. He's too cute for words. Just look at that pop of color. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Is that not fun? Goodness gracious. So cute. I have to be very careful because my hands are shaky. I want to get down in between his ears a little bit, but my hands are kind of weaselly. So I got to go really slow and be really quiet so I don't mess up. There. There. It's hard getting old. Look how cool that is. I am totally digging this color. Let's get his hat on this side. And this side. Oops, I got in his ear a little. We're going to pretend it didn't happen. Now I'm going to do the same color for the little brim on his hat, but I'm going to add a little bit of white just to lighten it up a little, like it's turned inside out. Just a little bit of a lighter version of that color. A little bit more. Super cute. Oh, y'all are killing me. Can't read. Can't read. Killing me, Smalls. Killing me. All right. His little hat. Oh my goodness, so cute. Okay, just to give it a little pop, I'm going to go in, I'm going to wipe some of that off. I'm going to go in with a little bit more white and just give it a little bit of shadowing, highlighting, whatever you want to call it. Just so it's not plain. All right, we're gonna pin this too, so don't stress about it. Now what I'm gonna do now, before I do his little black shoes and then we get started on the highlights, I wanna go back with some white and hit his ears again, just along the outside. Just double that up. We're going to pin in some highlights when we're done, before we do our glass. So cute. All right, we're going to do our shoes, and then we're going to work on our background. Our shoes are going to be black. You know, he's a boy bunny, so he has to have new black shoes for Christmas. Or Christmas. Why do I keep saying Christmas? Everybody keeps talking about Christmas on the Facebook. We'll do a little white highlight on his little nose. All right, let's rinse. A little black, and then we're gonna get started on our background. Just Anita's Black Craft Paint, nothing fancy. This big old bottle is $5. Always buy it when it's on sale, whether I need it or not, because it's cheap, and I like cheap. So I'm gonna get his shoes, his little cute shoes. That's right, you can't have Easter without Christmas. Okay, so let's get his shoes. I'm just gonna paint this whole bottom section with the black. Get his shoes on. His fancy new Easter shoes. Did everybody, when they were a kid, get new shoes for Easter? I know we did. It's probably about the only time we got new shoes, maybe the first of the year, school year, when we were kids. My poor mom, bless her, raised 3 kids by herself. 3 girls, mind you. She's probably already got sainthood just for that. She didn't kill any of us. If that ain't a saint, I don't know what is. She had 3 daughters, and then she had, you know, to deal with the friends of all her daughters. So, pretty sure she's got sainthood status. All right. I think his shoe needs to come down to a little less of a point. Okay. Cute. My shaky hand is showing today. Let's rinse. Thank you for the sprinkles. Thank you for the sprinkles. All right, I'm gonna just do a little highlight on the toes of these shoes. So I'm just gonna put the corner of my brush in my white and then just do a little swoop. I'm gonna separate the shoes right there with another little dab of white. There we go. All right, now we're gonna do the background, and we're gonna do the background in this color. This is called Spa Blue by Americana. Let me see if I can get the thing back where it goes. There we go. And I'm probably gonna mix a little white in this too. I'm just gonna put some on our palette. Love this color. We'll add a little more white next to it, in case we need to thin it down some. And I'm going to use my bigger brush. That's a 1/2 inch flat. I love these brushes. They're ergonomical with that little thingy on there, because I do have that little knot from painting. So I am going to just kind of mix a little in the center. I'm just going to start just filling in. I don't care. It's going to be a little messy. I'm not going to try to make it perfect. I learned at my little retreat this past week, learned how to, or they attempted to teach us how to let go and just be a little less anal, you know. And we had to hold our brushes like this. They wouldn't let us hold them like that. We had to hold them like this to paint, just so that we would let it go. So that was hard for me, but it was super fun. And I created that flower piece, which I love. I actually hung on my wall. I'm gonna make a frame for it soon. So I'm just gonna go around the edges. It's a little bit of white, a little bit of blue. I'm gonna be careful not to get into my black. There we go. I'm gonna hit the side real quick because I got a little overlaps. So I'm just gonna throw a little bit of color on that side. And we'll do the top too when we get up there. So I'm gonna flip this way so I can do this section. Wish I could see what y'all are talking about. But I can't, so. I'm gonna hit that top real quick. Let's get this. Ooh, let it go. That's for you, Tim Raines. All right, I'm gonna flip it this way. And you see how this side's a little bluer than this and a little lighter? I'm not micromanaging that, okay? I am just going to paint and let it be, not one solid color and not micromanage that situation. That's called letting it go. Get a little bit darker there since we're up to the ear. All right, I'm gonna flip this back. Oh, I guess I'm gonna go sideways a little here. Can you guys still see? I see your comment. I just had to stretch my neck to see your comment, Diana. What happened is I usually, when I have my camera pointed down at what I'm painting so y'all can see, I usually have comments on my iPad, and I accidentally logged out of my iPad, logged out of Facebook on my iPad just as we went live, and wasn't able to get it to come back up, so I just went on with it. So I can't see what you're saying because of that, because my camera is pointed down. So only if I crook my neck, and then I can only see the last little comment. All right, so let me do this bottom real quick. Oops, messed up my black a little. We'll fix that. All right, let me adjust. Can you all still see that? Let me get my black, fix my little shoe. So cute. You know what I need to do too, real quick? I can't talk and paint, obviously. Got some of that blue overlapped. So what I like to do too is take just a tiny drop of red. This is just Anita's Red Craft. Just a tiny little drop, and I'm gonna put just a teeny bit on the corner of my brush. I'm gonna get most of that off. And I like to just put a little scoop of red on anywhere where there's skin. Just a little pop of red. All right, so while we're waiting on that to dry, we are going to take our pen, our infamous graphic pen. This is a graphic 0.5 needle drawing pen. This is my favorite thing to just line whimsical type little art pieces with. I'm gonna move this over here. So I'm gonna use this just to add some lines that are gonna really make this pop. And I want you to notice the difference as I work, okay? So he's cute as he can be. I'm gonna hold him up a little bit. So he's cute as he can be, but I want you to take note of his ears and his hat real quick, and then watch what I do and the difference that it makes. Okay, my thing's a little wet still, but I'm gonna just add some lines. Ears. This won't matter here because we're going to put beads on that, but I had to do it anyway just because I'm crazy. So look at the difference. Just that little bit of lining makes to that. It's like the finishing touch. always helps. I'll always do that when I'm doing something really whimsical and not adding a lot of shading and stuff. He's super cute, isn't he? So I'm gonna continue, look at my arms. I'm gonna continue to add a little bit of, oops, I'll have to fix that, lining to his cute little face. I'm gonna go ahead and line the cross too, it might show. We're gonna have to fix his shoes again. So you notice I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just adding some lines. I'll add a few here. Not following any sort of pattern. All right, I messed him up again. Typical. So let's get that brush. Get a little black. It's my hand, but the back of my hand had some paint on it. Fix him up. All right, look how cute he is. Oh my goodness, can you see him? Can you see how cute he is? Oh, do you think he needs bunny whiskers? He's not a bunny, he's a gnome. I don't know. What do you think? Should we do bunny whiskers, yay or nay? Yay or nay? I'm trying to bend down and watch. No bunny whiskers. Yeah, he's a gnome. Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do now. We're not gonna be able to resin this today, but like I said earlier, we're gonna come back tomorrow and do another little piece, and we'll resin them both together. And so what I'm gonna do is I wanna add some glass beads to the cross, and I wanna add a few to his little ears. And I'm gonna use glue for that, okay? So this is Aleene's clear tacky glue. I love it because it dries fast and it dries clear, hence the name. So I'm just gonna add some glue to the inside of his ears. And I'm not even gonna try to make it a solid patch of glue because I want it to be kind of sporadic. So I'm gonna do this side, and then we'll do the cross. The cross we're gonna do solid, so it's completely covered. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the cross, and I'm gonna just start by outlining it with the glue, because I want a really nice solid coat of glue on my cross. So I'm gonna lining with glue. Then I'm gonna fill it in, and then I'll use a brush to kind of flatten it out and make sure it's 100% covered. So let's do this part. Line the edges. And then we'll just fill it in. And then I will use a paintbrush. Can you see him totally? Can you see his whole body? I'm gonna use a paintbrush just to spread that and make sure it's completely covered so it doesn't have any little mist spots. Then we got to micromanage so we don't get pink in the cross or silver in the ears. That's just how it goes. All right. Make sure it's all covered. So cute. All right, put that in water. So I'm gonna do his little ears first because I don't wanna use very much. And what I'm using on his ears is this, oops. This is called Bead Treasures. It is from, oh, you're upside down, aren't you? Oh my goodness, let me flip, sorry. Y'all been watching upside down this whole time because I couldn't see what I was doing, so you couldn't see either. Is that better? Is that better? Dang it. Dang it, y'all. Fuss at me when I do it wrong. Is he cute? Okay, so we're gonna use this pink luster. This is Bee Treasures from Hobby Lobby. I get it half price all the time. 12.0 glass seed beads pink luster. $3.99 is the regular price. And sorry about that, see? That's what happens when you're just a crazy person and you mess things up. So I am gonna just sprinkle onto my ears some of this pink bead. I want to try to keep it off my cross. I'm not going to try to micromanage that at all. I'm just going to pat it down so it sticks into the glue. And then later, tomorrow, when it's dry, and it will dry before tomorrow, but we're not going to deal with it till tomorrow. When we come back to resin, we'll dump off all the excess, and whatever stuck down is what we have left. So I'm just gonna pat that with my fingers. I'm gonna actually use this to kind of press into the glue. So I make sure that it is adhered. And then we'll let that sit. Okay, so now we're gonna use, for our cross, Bee Treasures 12.0 glass seed beads. The color is crystal, okay? But I already have like a little open bag of those. So I am gonna use what I have open because this one's unopened and I don't wanna deal with that. So I'm just gonna scoop out some of these into my little baby cup. Same thing, just cute little beads. And I'm just gonna start just pouring those, and I'm gonna try to block the pink. I'll use this. Y'all can still see, right? I'm gonna pour on as just a very of this crystal bead onto our cross because I want it to have a really nice thick layer of beads. So I might get a little more. Scoop in a little more. It's hard to get in that little bitty bag. And all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna scoot that up so you can see it a little bit better. So I've completely covered that area. You see that, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna use the bottom of my cup and I'm just gonna press to make sure all those beads are pressed nicely into my glue. And we are gonna let that dry. I'm gonna let that dry for a couple hours. So we have the crystal on the cross, and we have the pink luster on his little ears. And so we're gonna just leave that to dry. Let me put my top on my glue before I make a mess. We're gonna leave that to dry until later. And this is the one that we did last night online. So I'm gonna be listing you guys these colors in the Shattered Circle group, as well as the tracers. For this one, I am posting a time-lapse video of this. And if you're interested in having the information for this, you'll send us your email and we'll get that. But give me a couple hours to post that. So all we did different here was change his hat color. And thank you for the sprinkles, Kim. We changed his hat color. And instead of a cross, we gave him a cute little purple Easter egg. And what I did was use some of the other colors, the blue, green, the aqua color from here, the pink, and then the yellow background to make dots on his cute little Easter egg. And then I put bubbles, put our cute little bubbles on top of those dots just to give them dimension. And then I took one of those white floral gems and put it right on the end of his hat. So we have one that has some glass beads on his ears and in the cross, and then this one just has a few little sparkles here and there. So we're gonna resin these two beauties, and then I will post all of this stuff. So what I'm gonna do, I already poured my resin, and I'm using a 1/2 ounce of part A. Here's what I'm using, art resin, a 1/2 ounce of resin, and a 1/2 ounce of hardener, because I'm thinking it'll only take 1 ounce to do both pieces. Excuse me. So I'm gonna put my gloves on. These are super cute, aren't they? And Shattered Circle, folks, this will be in the group and within the hour when we're done here. So we are going to just resin this super cutie. So if you're letting your friends know, I appreciate that. So I'm gonna dump part A resin in my cup, and we're gonna make sure we scrape all that out. Thank you, Rima, my little timer girl, my little would you been sister. So we are gonna scrape all of that out as much as we could possibly get. And set that there, and then we're gonna do the same with this one. Richard, you're so funny. Hey, Christy, how are you? Good to see you, love. So is everybody enjoying their quarantine? Is anybody actually like staying home and not leaving the house? I've been good. I did have to go today. I have a nasty cold sore coming up on my lip, so I had to go to CVS today and get some stuff for my lip and get some batteries for my mama. Had to take care of mama. Thanks, Johnny. So we'll ditch those two. And I am gonna stir my resin for 3 minutes. So Rima, are you ready to time me? So while I stir, I am open to any questions anybody might have about art resin, or about art shattered, or about the Shattered Circle, or about our cute little Easter gnomes, or if anybody has any suggestions on what we can make next week, because I'm gonna take the weekend off, but next week we are gonna go hot and heavy right back into this, Monday through Friday. We are gonna make something special and fantastical springtime all week next week. So if you have an idea of something you'd like for us to make, yes, we are taking care of Mama Judy. We won't let her leave the house. She is under quarantine demand by her children. Yes, a hairpiece. Who has a hairpiece? You're FedEx. I get it, Christy. So you be safe. You be safe out there. You been good, Carolyn, in the house since Saturday? Yeah, suited up. Did you put your hazmat suit on, girl? That's funny. So we're just going to stir this. So if anybody has any suggestions for what you'd like for us to make next week, or if anybody has any questions, just let me know, and I'll do my best to answer those while I stir our cute little resin for our cute little bunnies. I'm going to move my hands out of the camera so that the camera focuses on the bunnies and you can see them better. A hummingbird. I'm writing that down, Sandy. I'm writing that down. Okay, 5 seconds off the clock. Hummingbird. Okay, the pear. Oh, yes, the pear is fantastical. And the pear I did has a little stencil on the background. So that would be super fun. 3 weeks. Oh, I hear you, Sandra. Well, God bless you, honey. You stay safe and you stay well. A whimsical owl. That is a great idea too, Judy. That would be so much fun. So we'll have 5 days, so we need 5 ideas minimum. Whimsical owl. I love that. And I have the perfect thing for some big old owl eyes. Perfect little something. So we're stirring. Cheech and Chong. Richard. You're a hot mess, dude. You are seriously a hot mess. Bird nest with blue eggs. That is the perfect springtime art piece, Brenda. Awesome. Thanks for that. Tori's been staying at home but had to go to college today, and you're babysitting so a fellow employee of your daughter can work. They work at a pediatrics office. My son and his girlfriend are both PAs. And my son works for a cardiac surgeon, and they are being worked to death. People are just flooding the hospitals, even though they have been asked not to. They're just, people don't pay attention. They just care about themselves. And they are flooding those hospitals and overworking that staff and just spreading that crapping virus in the emergency room. So you guys, I don't even know. The hummingbird is a wonderful idea. Hey, Elizabeth, time is up. Wow, that was the fastest 3 minutes ever. Diana, I don't think I have done lilacs, but I've done blue bonnets, but not lilacs, and that is a fantastic idea as well. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. So I'm not going to raise these yet because I didn't bring but 2 blocks and I need 4. So I'm going to be super careful. But after I get the resin on them, I will elevate them so that they don't drip on my table and stick down. Rescheduling people, yes. That's good, Tori. My aunt was supposed to have knee surgery in 2 weeks, and they have rescheduled all electives, anything that's not life or death. So that's a good thing. Okay, so rainbows. Oh my God, yes, Carolyn. OMG. Rain boots with flowers. I have to write that down. Hang on. Rain boots. Pause for station identification. Rain boots. We're on with that. That is going to be A number 1. Chicks and daffodils. Aww. When you write on your canvas, D, the key is not to use a Sharpie pen. You have to use a pen that is archival quality or waterproof. Okay, if you use a Sharpie, it's always going to run. I would use a paint pen, or an archive quality pen so that it doesn't bleed. That's the key. Yes, all those medical people who are just worn slap out. Yes, Debbie Judy, she was going to have knee surgery and it's been canceled. So God bless her. She'll get it when this is all done. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to work on our cross gnome first. So I'm just going to go ahead and just start drizzling around. And normally I would drizzle on the glass first, but when I do glass beads, I like to do that last because you can flood that too much and get a little bit too much resin on those beads, and they don't look good when you do that. So usually when I do the glass beads, I try to do those last and do a minimal amount of resin so it doesn't look so wet and like it's floating in resin. So let's see how that works. Oh, yes. That would be awesome, Richard. Richard is not behaving, Elizabeth. You should know better than that. It wouldn't be Richard if he was behaving. Pretty sure he has never behaved a day in his life. So I am just going to spread this with my fingers all around the little glass beads, and then we'll go back in that when we're saturated. So I'm just going to go around, just doing the top, covering all those blank spaces. And once I have all that covered, then I'm going to take my glove and just rub some of that resin into the glass beads. So I make sure it's covered nicely, but not completely flooded. I just don't like it when it's completely flooded on top of that. Wow, Sonia, no way. Where are you? Are you on the coast? They closed your beaches today. I heard that, you know, and I understand why. Because, you know, when I was there a couple weeks or last week, before they even really were saying, you know, trying to quarantine or get everybody to stay home, there were so many people out. We didn't really ever go to the beach, but there were a lot of spring breakers there, and they just don't have sense. They don't have sense enough to know that they could be spreading that virus, you know, and they just, you know, you have to close them for people to know what they're doing. Those kids ain't got no sense for the most part anyway. So I'm going to move this one over, be on a coneflower. How cute would that be? Oh, fantastical. Okay, so this one's done. So now I'm going to drizzle over my little egg that has my bubble beads on the little egg. Outer Banks to tourist. Yeah. You know, you have to do what you have to do when people won't listen. When people won't listen to the suggestions when there's something like this going on, then you have to step in and, you know, make them listen. It's really a shame. I have zero problem being quarantined. You know, because people, sometimes when I'm out and about, people drive me crazy anyway. Went to the grocery store earlier in the week because my mom needed groceries and we had nothing. And I was starting to get worried about whether we were going to be able to have anything or not. And there were people who were being so rude to some of those grocery clerks, and I really wanted to pop them in their heads because I find no reason to be rude to these people. So I ain't got the patience for rudeness. I'm the kind of person who is, you know, I want to hug them and thank them, and then there's people out there who want to be rude and ugly, and then I want to pop them in their heads. That's what I want to know, Rima. Where are their parents? Their parents are at the mall spreading their germs. Isn't that crazy? Okay, let's do this one. Yes. Send people inside. That's what they need to do. Go home, people. The restaurants here only do takeout or curbside pickup. You can pick your food up. We actually ordered some lunch today while we were out at CVS. We ordered some lunch and had curbside pickup for our lunch because we were tired of eating the same old stuff. So, yeah, the restaurants here and the bars are closed. So, I don't mind that one single bit. I have all the wine I need. I have all the wine I need, yeah. Of course they're paying for their spring break. They need to take their kids home. Those kids are silly. You know, when we were 20, we thought we were invincible too. Remember? I'm pretty sure I did. This ain't nothing to play with though. Check it out. Pam, I just made dots with the back of a big old paintbrush like this. And then I put bubbles on each dot. Is that not cute? Was that not a good idea? Just to give it a little dimension. Okay, so let's torch real quick. I'm going to scooch them together. And we're going to torch them to pop any bubbles using our little handy dandy blowtorch. So let's just hit that real quick. No big deal. Not too much. We don't want to burn anything. We don't want a bunch of bubbles either. So you got to keep your hand moving. Don't get your fire too close to your art piece so it burns. And voila, we are done. Done.